Dear students, our today's topic is morphology of plants. Morphology of plants. First of all, when we are speaking morphology, it means that we talk of external structures. Morphology means external features, form or structure, and the characters, the features which are visible in a plant, it means that it is morphology. And flowering plants. What are flowering plants? Morphology of flowering plants. Flowering plants are also called as angiosperms. Angiosperms. So we know that these angiosperms are diverse in structure. These are having a lot of diversity in their structure, and these angiosperms having diversity in their structure, and these are also characterized by presence of leaves, presence of roots, presence of stems, presence of flowers, and presence of fruits. So, when we draw the picture of a plant, there are two portions. The one portion which is underground. One portion is underground portion, which we called as root system, and one portion is upper ground system, which we called as shoot system. So we know that in shoot system we have stem, we have flowers, we have fruits, and so on, parts of the plant, leaf, etc. And we know that the portion which is underground, we called it as root apical meristem. So today we are going to discuss about root, the portion above the portion underground portion of the plant, that means root system. First of all, we know angiosperms. Angiosperms are classified into two categories. First is monocot. That means the seed having one cotyledon is called as monocot. And second is dicot. The seed having two cotyledons is called as dicot. Now, in dicot system, there is plumule and there is radicle. So we know what is the function of this plumule. Plumule is responsible for future shoot, and as for radicle is concerned, it is responsible for future root. So we know that Now in case of angiosperms, we have different types of roots. In case of angiosperms, we have different types of roots. Different types of roots. First one is tap root system. So we can understand that this tap root system is a branch-like structure. It is a diagram of a root, and it is in the form of a branch. The root which forms branches. First is primary, which forms a branch-like structure. Forms a branch-like structure. Primary. Second is secondary, and last one is tertiary. So the root which forms a branch-like structure and forms branches like primary, secondary and tertiary. And these roots, radicle is present at the base of the stem. So these roots originate from radicle. For example, in case of carrot. For example, in case of carrot. In case of radish. Now the second is fibrous root. First it was a tap root. Now the second is fibrous root. So what is fibrous root? This fibrous root is also called a true root. True root. This root originates from radicle. Originates from radicle, but not forming branches. Primary, secondary or tertiary, like taproot, because these make thread-like structures. These types of roots make thread-like structures. For example, this is a root and it makes thread-like structures. Now, for example, such types of examples we take, for example, wheat plant. Now the third one is adventitious root. Third one is adventitious root. So this adventitious root grows from the upper portion of the stem. Grows from the upper portion of the stem. So we can say these roots does not grow from radicle. Not grow from radical. For example, in case of banyan tree, for example, banyan tree, which provides support to a plant, which provides support to a plant. For example, like this. Now, first of all, we know that main function of the root is to absorb water and minerals from the soil. But there are the roots which store food, and which main function, we know that main function is to provide minerals to the plant and absorb soil. So there are roots which store food, and synthesize plant growth regulators. Plant growth regulators. Now, when we see as per function, there are different regions of a root. For example, we make here the structure of a root. What are the different regions of root? For example, at the tip of root is a cap-like structure, which we call as root cap. And what is the function of this root cap? It provides protection to the plant, to the root. Provides protection to the root. Then there is a specialized tissue which we call as meristematic tissue. Specialized tissue which is present at this region, at the region of root cap. It is called as meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue. What is the function of this meristematic tissue? It provides, this specialized tissue is present at the tip, and it is also called root apical meristem. Root apical meristem. The cells which are present in the meristematic tissue, these elongate and their size increases. Elongate and their size increases, which is called as region of elongation. After that, their number and size increases. So, when these cells further differentiate, and lose the ability to divide further, when these cells increase in mature and differentiate and lose the ability to divide and to divide further. Ability to divide further. This region we call it as region of maturation. Region of maturation. So we know that at the region of maturation, these cells modify and form root hairs. These cells modify and form root hairs. And this layer is called epidermis, which is the outermost layer of the plant. And where are the root hairs present? Root hairs. So sometimes a question is asked, where are the root hairs present? So we can say that these root hairs are present at the outermost layer of the plant, which we call as epidermis. Then after this we have to study a modification of root. So modification of root. Modification of roots. So as far modification is concerned, when the roots of some plants change their shape and structure, when the roots of some plants change their shape and structure and become modified to perform functions other than absorption. To perform functions other than absorption and conduction of water and minerals and conduction of water and minerals. They are modified for support. They are modified for support storage of food and respiration. Support storage of food and respiration. For example, tap roots of carrot, turnip. For example, tap roots of carrot, tap roots of carrot, turnip, or adventitious roots of potato and adventitious roots of potato get swollen, and store food and store food. Then there are, for example, stem of maize and sugar have supporting roots. For example, stem of maize and sugar have supporting roots coming out of the lower nodes of the stem, which come out of the lower nodes of the stem are called seated roots. उनको क्या बोलते हैं? These are called seated roots. These arise from the base. Also arise from base. Then there are some structures. They are prop roots. There are prop roots. Prop roots are the structures. These are the structures which support a tree. For example, in case of banyan tree, for example, banyan tree, but this banyan tree provides support to the plant, and these hanging structures do not arise from radicle. So we can say do not arise from radicle. Then the roots of the plants which grow in the areas which help in respiration, For example, rhizophora. case of Rhizophora, these roots are help in respiration. Help to increase the oxygen concentration. The oxygen concentration, and these are also called as nematophores. We can say that these roots perform various functions. For example, first one is storage of food. In the modification, we can say roots perform various functions. Storage of food. For example, carrot, which I have already told you, carrot, turnip, and sweet potato. Then number 2 is prop and settled root. Number 2 prop and settled root. Prop and settled root, which I have told already that these provide support to the trees, and sugar cane also provide support. Its roots also provide support. Then their third one is respiration. In case of Rhizophora, then third one is respiration. In case of Rhizophora, and these are also called as nematophores. So dear students, this completes your morphology of flowering plants and root. Now next time we have to start about stem. Thank you very much.